Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along to the wilds of Suffolk. I'm out here yet again doing what I do, walking along in beautiful locations, and today is absolutely off the scale gorgeous here on the Suffolk coast. I'm doing what I do, walking along in these beautiful locations. It is stunning, and giving you my thoughts and opinions on everything that's happening in the world in the public consciousness. If it's your first time here, welcome. It's a pleasure for me to have you join me for these walks. If you're a returning subscriber, or 1,280 of you there are today, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you along. So thank you one and all for being here. So today, by the title, I'm addressing our politicians here in the UK. And look, if you're facing similar issues wherever you live in the world, and you want to address this to your politicians, I'll be doing it via Twitter and wherever else I can have access to those kind of people that are running the world. But this is an address to those people, because I've just like I say, I keep up with sort of the garbage that the news is trying to feed us on a daily basis. The newspapers, all those rags, all those journalists. Apparently journalists are those in-depth journalists who go into the story and really want to understand it. They're not just repeating propaganda. Really, they're not. They do investigative pieces where they have facts. Facts. Fact checkers. Fact. Now, if you Google, well, don't Google because Google's full of shit, obviously. Go and look in the dictionary. There are such things, apparently. Go and look in the dictionary under the word fact. Fact. Now, we were told over the past couple of years, to nearly 3 years now, that the fact checkers, the facts were the facts and the science was settled. Facts are indisputable. That's the fact. You can't question it because it's a fact, right? But then, now we see these news organisations, politicians, the people who tell us that they're the ruling elite, tell us that the facts changed over the past couple of years. The facts changed. The facts did. The facts. Facts. So something is unquestionable. We know the answer to be truth. So those facts changed. Okay? Now, where do we go? So the journalists that are telling us that they're there for, truth to power, speaking truth to power. I'm not a journalist. I'm just a guy. I'm just an ordinary run-of-the-mill guy. I work 6 days a week in my job. I'm a chef, for those of you who don't know. I take an avid interest in things that are going on in the world, in the conspiracy theories circles. I look at everything. And because I look at everything, I come out here and I give my opinion on what I see. Okay? And that's based around, the things that are happening in the world that's been put out there in the propaganda and all the bullshit in between. So today I went through the newspapers, all the headlines, all the front covers, all the the big things that stood out. Obviously, it's usual bullshit. But the things that really stood out, we have a guy here in the UK who's the Chancellor now, I think he is, the Treasurer, something like that. Anyway, Jeremy Hunt. Jeremy Hunt. That's his name. Jeremy Hunt. Sorry, I've got a bit of a speech impediment there. So this guy, Jeremy Hunt, he's telling us that we have to pay more taxes. We have to pay more taxes to get us out of the hole that we're in. More taxes. So here we are in the UK. We have we have out of our wage. If you pay a wage, if you're paid a wage, you're paying at the sort of lower end of the tax bracket. You're paying 27%, nearly 30%. So if you're working 6 days a week like I do, 2 of those days are unpaid. I'm paying the government for the privilege of me being able to work. Okay, 27% of your wage goes to tax and national insurance. Now, a national insurance, part of your national insurance makes up your pension. Well, the pension pots, we all know about those, when the government had to, where the Bank of England had to step in to the tune of 10 trillion a day 10 billion. Sorry, what am I saying? 10 billion a day is bad enough. 10 billion a day to prop up the pension funds. So we're paying out our taxes out of our wages, and then we pay tax on everything we buy, of course, and every time we step and do anything, it's taxes. But we have to pay more taxes, we're told, to bail us out of the shit. So when I'm addressing you politicians, you scum, you lying, filthy propagandists, filthy scumbag pieces of shit, I'm addressing you now, okay? You want to tax us into oblivion. You wanted to shut down the economy, shut down people's businesses so they couldn't earn, they couldn't produce, they couldn't feed themselves, they couldn't feed their families. So you cut them off from their ability to make money. For what? For what? For something that has the death rate of the flu, right? So you did that, right? So you shut down the economy, took away people's ability to feed themselves, and productivity into our society, productivity into the economy, the GDP. You shut that off. And I don't care, there's not a politician in Parliament here that didn't vote for it. So you're all guilty. All of you. Now, because of your shitty decisions, you decided to shut down the economy. One shitty decision. Then you decided to buy a bunch of PPE that was not fit for purpose. Another shitty decision. Then you decided that you're going to spend tens of billions of our taxpayer dollars to buy weapons for a war that we're not even in. So shitty decisions from politicians, and we, the people, let's take it a step backwards before we go forwards. No one voted for you. You have no mandate. You did not put this before the public. Now, our illustrious Prime Minister, let's go back further. Rishi Sunak, you have no mandate. No one voted for you. No one voted for your policies. No one voted for the bullshit. No one voted for this, all the bullshit that you're trying to push through. Higher taxes and new digital CBDCs. No one voted for it. Okay? You have no mandate. Zero mandate to do what you're doing. So we have all the shitty decisions piled on shitty decisions, then that they're making, sending tens of billions of our money over to different countries. Now our Prime Minister is over at a climate event where they flew in on private jets, all the people that are there for the private event, private conference that we're not allowed to attend, remember. So the politicians flying there, sorry, must have the Rona. It's the new strain. It's a bullshit strain, okay? So they all fly in there in their private jets with a massive motorcade of vehicles that run on petrol, remember, to go and tell everybody that they're going to spend tens of more billions of our taxpayer money on programs to fix climate change that they created in the first place. The politicians. So our Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, who's not our Prime Minister because we never voted for him, he has no mandate to spend our money, is telling us he's spending tens of billions of our money, taxpayer money again. So war's not enough and going buying weapons is not enough. Now he's going to send tens of billions of our money, our taxpayer money, while we're being told we have to pay more taxes. Our money is going to Egypt, okay, Greece. We're sending money over all around the world. Isn't our government supposed to represent us in this country? Supposed to represent the people, do the best for the people of this country? Oh yes, but it is the best thing, raising taxes. How? The cost of living price is way up. I don't want the government to control anything. Get the fuck out of my way. You know, the cost of living prices, interest rates. Why are the interest rates up? Why are you putting interest rates up in a recession? Taxes up in a recession. So you can spend more money on climate change bullshit that doesn't work. More windmills that don't... Windmills? There's no wind today. They're not producing electricity. They're just sitting out there doing nothing. Oh, it's sunny though. It's sunny. In this country, in the winter, it's sunny. Today it is. Tomorrow it's going to be overcast and shitty. But no, we should put in more solar panels and more wind farms that aren't producing electricity on days, which is mostly like today. You're criminals. Now, all we've got to do is look at the actions of these criminals and say, what the fuck are you doing? You're not representing the people. You're representing corporate interests and the World Economic Forum and think tanks, of course. Think tanks. Let me put it to you one way and one way only. Do you think that you're not going to be held accountable? How far do you think you can push the people who you're saying, well, you just have to pay more taxes, whilst the billionaires and millionaires aren't paying taxes? Why? Because everything's in a trust. Oh, but the trusts are available for everybody, Chris. Let me tell you something, okay? If you continue with this bullshit, I will leave this country. I'll leave. Fuck it. I like living here. I've had my children here. I've got property here. I've got a business here. I've got a good job here. I've got friends here. I will leave this fucking country like that, in a heartbeat. So you got to make a decision how you want to run the fucking country. I'm not planning on staying here. If this is the bullshit you're going to do, there's countries that will pay me to move there. They'll pay me to move there with my family. Will pay me to move there. Will give me land for free to move there. Why the fuck would I want to stay in this shitbox with a bunch of unelected fucking bureaucrats being run by fucking puppet bankers? Yes, Goldman Sachs. Yes, Rishi Sunak, we know who you are. Yes, Liz Truss, we know who you are. Work for a Shell Oil company and then give them 40 billion of the taxpayer money. Don't you think that we know what the fuck is going on? Don't you think that the public sees your corrupt, thieving, scumbag piece of shit motherfuckers? Do you see that? How many veterans live in this country that the British government has trained to kill people? You've trained these people to go out and kill people in different countries. How do you think they're going to react to what you're doing? A message to the British Armed Forces. Who did you swear allegiance to? Was it the country? Was it the people of this country? Are you there to defend the people of this country, or are you there to defend these politicians? Who did you swear allegiance to? The Queen? Well, the Queen's dead. You swear allegiance to the King, who's already sworn his allegiance to the World Economic Forum and corporations rather than the people of this country. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. I've been pissed off for 2 years now. More than 2 years now. Since they said, well, we're locking down, and I said back then, more people will die from the lockdowns than will ever die from this fucking bullshit virus. It's nonsense. It's garbage. And I'm tired of it. I got my new council tax bill in today from my rental property. They're charging me a care levy, I think they called it, adult care levy, where I'm paying extra to the local government so they can help poor people just to be able to pay their bills. I'm doing that. But now the government wants me to charge me extra tax on top. At one point, do people say, fuck off? Not paying. Not doing it. Take me to court. Not doing it. I am not paying. And if it means selling up and leaving this country and saying, fuck you, then I'll do it. I will go to a different country that will pay me, give me free land. They will pay me to go there. Oh no, we're going to put your taxes up. Fuck off. Fuck right off. So what, to all the people watching this, like, what's your breaking point? Where do you draw the line and say, oh, you know what? I'm a good person. I want to contribute more to people who are going to sit on their ass and collect the dole, and yeah, I want to contribute more to that, to the point where I can't live anymore. At what point do you stand up and say fuck off? Not doing it. You know, and what option do we have here? You know, in America, obviously, everything that's going on over there. I mean, bunch of fucking criminals. Again, more criminals. The world is being run by psychopaths and sociopaths that just make decisions and go, well, now the rest of you are going to live with decisions that I've made. And if I've made shit like... Let me clarify. I've made some pretty shitty decisions in my life. Pretty shitty financial decisions, and I've had to bear the brunt of that. Not that my decisions affected other people, but those decisions that I made to do with my life and my finances, when I fucked up, I had to bear the consequences. Yep, many of us have. I don't know how many. I've never been bankrupt. I know people that have. I've been there when people have been through the process, and it's horrible. They get fucking wrecked. But these people in government can go and do it personally. They can fuck up personally their own finances and everybody else's, and then walk away into a high-paying, high-powered job. They fail upwards. Where if it was you and I, well, you have to pay for the rest of your life. So where is this level playing field, this accountability? Why aren't we all playing by the same rules? Why is it the politicians are going, they have no personal accountability for anything that they do, and then they walk away and they go from the public to the private sector, backwards and forwards, back to the forwards. So they're in investment banking, Goldman Sachs, or working for the oil companies, Liz Truss, Shell. And then they go into public office, they create regulations, and they go back into the public sector again, or private sector again, and reap a huge bonus for going and changing the rules to make sure that the corporations and the banks and these conglomerates, these worldwide international conglomerates, can continue doing business the way that they want to, without paying any taxes or bearing any of the consequences for their shitty decisions that have made their companies insolvent. Like FTX. FTX is a scam. It's a setup. It was deliberately done because the government wants to come in and take hold of crypto, and corporations and banks. Banks are threatened by crypto. Where did he get all the money from to set up the world's biggest exchange? Where did he do that? Well, the second biggest exchange. Where did he get all the money for that? Anybody? If you do some history on this guy, Sam Bankman-Fried. I got his name wrong last time. I said Joseph. I do apologize. Joseph's his father. Joseph Bankman. Joseph Bankman. Okay? So the banks are threatened by crypto because it takes away their power. The bankmen are in the middle of the transactions. Every transaction goes through them. You pay with your card, Visa gets a cut of that. Then your bank gets a cut of that as well. Then the other bank, the receiving bank, gets a cut of it as well. You see how it works? The banks are the middlemen. They don't want to lose their control, because once crypto is amongst the public, it's person to person. I can send you money, you can send me money without the bank being involved in the middle. So politicians, you got a choice to make. If you think the public are not waking up, I'm doing this to wake the people up, and I will continue to do it until I'm in prison or whatever you try and do to me. I don't give a shit. I will leave this country in a heartbeat. Won't even think twice about it. Walk away. I will fart in your general direction. I'm gone. I will happily go and grab my free piece of land, and I will be gone. And leave everyone to it, Everyone's just going to sit on their ass and go, oh, well, that's just the way things are, Chris. We all have to contribute to make the world a better place. I'm happy to make sure that my bank account's empty so that people who want to sit on their ass and do nothing, they can live as well. I don't work 6 days a week so that I can support other people. I do. I work 6 days a week to support my family because that's my responsibility. The government is wasteful. There's no accountability for shitty decisions that they make. I personally think that if a politician makes shitty decisions, that they are personally responsible, that they lose everything. If they make decisions that lose this country money, that they lose everything that they have. How many politicians are going to stand up and take the reins if they know that they're going to lose everything if they make shitty decisions? None. They know there's no accountability. Someone gets injured by sticking something in their body. Oh, well, your fault. even though you're forced to, right? But you weren't forced to. We didn't force you to. But if you don't do it, you're going to lose your job. You know, I don't want to be perpetually angry. I don't want to be, you know, making videos where I'm angry and I'm shouting at politicians and I'm saying to people, what the fuck is going on? You know, I spoke to my mother this morning. She's like, oh, well, we all know politicians lie. We all know they cheat. We all know that. We all know it. And still, we live like this, where these criminals, career criminals, you know, they've got a degree, remember? Got a degree in political science. It teaches you how to be a lying, cheating, conniving piece of shit, scumbag, piece of motherfucker. At some point, people have got to get upset and say fuck off. Or you will be ruled like peasants for the rest of your miserable existence. I'm not doing it. I won't do it. And if it comes to it, I will stand and fight. I don't want that to happen. I'm not threatening anyone. But I will defend myself. And I will defend myself to the point where I'm not giving in. I'm not backing down. And if it requires me leaving my home in this country, I won't go back to Australia. Australia's fucked. Australia's communist. It's in the pocket of the communist China. I'm not going back there either. So politicians, you get a chance to change your ways. People, you get a chance to say fuck off to the politicians once and for all. These people are going to be held accountable, and if it can't be done through the courts, then we have to, like they've done in Brazil, the military has to take charge of this. If we can't sort this out, we will be second-class citizens forever. It's going to be feudalism all over again. I rule you, you will do as I say, and if you don't do as I say, I'll throw you in prison. Does that sound like representation to you? Does it? It sure as shit doesn't sound like someone's representing me when they tell me if you don't do what I tell you, then I'll put you in prison. That's not representation. That's being my Lord and Master. You will do what I tell you, or you will be in prison. And if you don't pay me more money, you know, why did America have their revolution against the British? They had the British crown. Because they were trying to extort them for taxes. This is what they do. It's extortion. If the mob did it, okay. Let's just say the mafia, okay? The government is the mafia, okay? But let's just say the mafia is in your local town. Now, they come to your business and they say to you, you got to fucking pay me for protection. And if you don't, we'll come and burn your place down. We'll rob you every day. We'll come there, but you've got to pay us. So you're like, well, okay, well, I don't have a choice, so I'll pay, you know. And it starts out at 20 quid a week. 20 quid a week, and they're like, yeah, great, 20 quid a week. And then they come back the next week and say, now it's 50. And you're like, well, why is it fucking 50? It was 20 last week. Well, the prices have gone up. That's the racket. That's what we're living in. Then they come back the following week. Oh, sorry, now you have to pay 100. What? What do I have to pay 100 for? Nothing's changed. Well, the threat's bigger. The threat's bigger. If you don't do it, now we'll kill your family. Or we'll take your children away from you. And we'll lock them up. We'll put them into... We'll take your children away if you don't want to pay. We'll take your house away. We'll take everything from you. It's a fucking racket. They're the mafia. They're con men. And and they've legalized it. They've legalized the theft of the public that they're supposed to represent. And then what are they doing with the money? Oh, we're going to spend another 20 billion on weapons in Ukraine for a war that we're not even declared to be in. And why Ukraine? Why Ukraine? What's going on in Ukraine? What was happening in Ukraine that they're so desperate that we have to fight back the Russians? Oh, now, now the newest bullshit from the investigative journalists, remember those? FTX is getting hacked by who? Oh, it's the Russians. So the giant con game that is FTX, remember, donated $1 billion to Joe Biden's campaign. Remember that. Now the Russians are hacking the exchange. That's really why it's gone down. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of the rhetoric. I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of this government controlling me and telling me, you will do what we say. I won't. I won't. You want to extort me? Fuck you. I'll leave. I'll leave the country. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Leave my job. Uproot my family. Take us away from our family. Take us away from our friends. Gone into the wind. We're going to make a choice. It's I speak to people all over the place, Oh, we're fine in here in Australia, Chris. I'm like, how's your shopping? Oh, well, yeah, the shopping's gone up. What about your petrol? Oh, yeah, well, the petrol's gone up. What about your taxes? Oh, well, they've gone up too. But everything's okay. The economy's failing, the financial system's failing, but no, everything's okay. We're just going to charge them some more tax. More tax on your food. CPI, Consumer Price Index. You know what that is? Consumer Price Index. What you're paying for your food. Oh yeah, but we're going to remove chicken and beef and this out of the and petrol out of the Consumer Price Index because why? Why? And then the PPI, I think it is PPI, Producer Price Index. Producer Price Index. So obviously the producers who produce the food that you eat, that we grow out here, out in the fields just out here, they're paying more for their fuel, they're paying more for their fertilizer, they're paying more for their seeds, they pay more for their workers who come to work. So obviously the price of everything from the farm is going to go up. So the CPI is going to go up. But if we're removing items from the CPI, oh yes, the Consumer Price Index only rose by 2% this month. Oh, but we're not counting chicken or fuel or beef. So actually the number's gone down. So you're actually paying less for your shopping than you did last year. Bullshit. So my message is today to the politicians, stop fucking lying, stop doing what you're doing, or you will be held accountable. To the people who are watching this, share it. Tell everybody. Don't give in to the fucking criminals. And that's what they are. They need to be held accountable. So we, the people, have to stand up against them. That's the only way. If you're gonna go along with it, say, oh, we have to all do our part. We all have to do our share, Chris. We have to do a little bit. All of us have to do a little bit. No. The government is mismanaging the funds that they've been given. I don't want to entrust them with more. I don't. I don't want them to have any of my money to start with. I don't trust them. So something has to change. Something has to give. And at some point, the people are going to speak up. If you don't, well, then I'll walk away and leave it. And you deal with the consequences. I'll happily walk away. Don't want to, but if that's the way it's going to be, then that's the way it's going to be. But on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I've got lots to do. Awesome sunny day here. Look at it. It's gorgeous. So I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to get out into the wilds and get a bunch of stuff done on my only day off. Start making preparations to get the fuck out of here because I'm not putting up with this shit. I'm not. I won't. So, go out into the world, do good, and be good. And you can change the world and how it's the trajectory of it with the way that you think, the way that you act, the way that you talk, the words that you speak will change things. So it's up to all of us to change things. Or if you don't want to, if you just want to sit there and be a little puppet of the government, then go ahead and do that. I won't. So take care of yourself. Look after yourself and look after each other and we'll get along just fine. Everything will be just fine. Don't trust the criminals and politicians. We're coming for you. And that's not a threat. I'm not threatening anyone. But the day will come where you'll be held accountable for your actions. You've got to decide where you want to be on that day. All right, folks. Thank you so much one and all for joining me. Really appreciate it. Sorry about my mood today. I'm really pissed off. I'm so angry at what's going on. Sometimes I have to express it because there's no point holding it in. Get out, let it all out there express it to the world. And hopefully some people will be joining me and saying, I agree with you, Chris, and I'm not going to stand for it either. It's up to us all. Your choice. All right, folks, have a great day. I look forward to seeing you soon. Ciao for now.